All right, welcome guys to another Soccer World fan TV reaction. We have our second Liverpool fan of the day, Thivian here,
And for
who
once, I'm
also
not
happens.
asking the questions. What a surprise.
Yep, we've had a bit of a role reversal here. I'm gonna be the one asking the questions this time.
Oh no.
So let's see how this goes. All right, yo, Thivian. First of all, so this season has been marred by a lot of injuries, right?
Mm.
With especially with the whole COVID thing, there's been fixture congestion and all that. So, what's your been thoughts on how the league is generally going, and in terms of how your club in general is coping with these injuries?
First and foremost, I think when we did have a lot of these injuries, especially for Van Dijk, there was a question on how the team was going to perform going forward, and plus with the whole loss and everything, the huge loss that we had,
Hmm.
there was a question on how we're going to move forward as well. I think it did help that we had Allison come back as quickly as he did, which I think has helped as well. But I think you got to give great credit to Klopp and everything and how he's man managed throughout this whole session and everything. And he's done a really good job. And when you look at this game as well, um, this could have been one of the potential ones that we didn't have the best of results and everything. So in the
Hmm.
long run, I think we are happy with the draw, especially with the fixtures that we had and the injuries that we had.
Okay, fair enough. Do you think with a balance of play in terms of chances created and ball like
Mm-hmm.
possession, do you think 1-1 would be a fair result?
Yeah.
Looking this way?
So what I do want to say as well in the first half and everything, I think we were on the front foot, especially how we were trying to make forward passes and everything. And the thing about it as well, I know that Firmino does have a lot of criticism and everything, and I do
Hmm.
absolutely, which we will talk about more and everything.
Hmm.
What I did see though, improvements from his game is he is coming more forward on the pitch and everything, and he's trying to make chances in the box. That was a big issue when he was just trying to be too deep and everything, and trying to push forward and everything. It wasn't a perfect
Yeah.
game from him in his standards and everything, but there are improvements to see as well. Although, my opinion, I didn't want it to start him in the game, but after consulting a lot with other Liverpool fans, I understand why we played the 4-2-3-1,
Hmm.
especially based on the players that we do have and everything. So, in the basis of it, I do agree with it. Although the one, I guess, criticism I guess Klopp could have taken as well is Jota. I feel like he plays better on the left and better on the center because when we saw how Jota was good and everything, he
Yeah.
played predominantly better on the left and everything. And we
Yeah.
know that Mane can play on the right. So why? The question is why can't he not experiment and everything within the two sides and everything? I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something Klopp can look forward to. But other than that, in a tactical point of view, it seemed quite good. And of course, Pep was going to be for this game.
Yeah.
Um, he has to win this game, especially with the position he is in the league and everything. Um, and it looked like as well that with that whole penalty decision, Jesus Christ, we got out of jail there. And I'm surprised that Kevin De Bruyne missed that penalty. That could
Yeah.
have pretty
Sure.
much sealed the game, especially with these tight games as Man City and Liverpool really are. Um, but on the faces of it, yeah, I would say we dominated the first half and everything. Man City dominated most of the second half. So I think in the balance of game, yeah, 0-0 is a good result.
Hmm. So, you touched on the fact that Firmino, he has a tendency to drop too deep, and coupled with your injuries, 4-2-3-1 was probably the formation you had to play. But do you think maybe that could be a long-term thing? Firmino playing at the number 10 and Jota maybe playing on the left and Mane on the right? Do you think that could work long term?
Yeah, I think it could. I think that the issue is as well, and I think it's very important that players do not feel that their position is safe and everything. They need to be challenged as well. I look at
Yeah.
Salah for example as well last season. I remember at one point he wasn't playing the best football that he could be, and Klopp decided to bench him for a couple of games and everything. And I think that
Mhm.
really helped him because it wanted him to work as hard as he can and everything, and improved. And even though it wasn't his best goal scoring season, he did provide a lot of assists as well out of the front three. So yeah, and I think it's very important as well that as players they need to realize that look, even though you are important of the team, you do have that opportunity that your position's compromised. And what he did for the last game against Atalanta, that was a
Hmm.
good call on Klopp's hand and everything. But at the same
Yeah.
time, he's also reassuring the fact that it doesn't mean that Firmino's out of favor or anything. It's just that now he has to work harder. Um, so yeah, and the positive things I've saw from his game today and everything, it's looking good and everything, and we'll see how much he works on it, and hopefully he can integrate to the team, and especially having someone like him and his abilities that we did see in the past, pushing forward. I think the 4-2-3-1 will be suffice, and hopefully he can push forward for the team.
Hmm. Yeah, that will certainly be something to look forward to. So building upon the narrative of injuries here, Man City have struggled in the absence of Aguero.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Jesus as as the focal point of their team? And was there anything that surprised you in this game, tactically wise?
Um, the thing is, I think Pep tactically set up the team pretty well. He didn't make sure that we had a lot of spaces to exploit because he knows as well. Once you exploit a certain amount of spaces and everything, we take advantage of it. You look at Atalanta, for example. They got punished devastatingly as well with some of the spaces that they gave in and everything. And respect to Atalanta, that's how they play and everything. However, if you know Liverpool, if you give that much space to them, they're going to exploit the spaces. They're going to want to play. They're going to use that as an advantage. And we're going to,
Yeah.
exploit that in devastating effect and everything. So I think Pep, the way he set his team up and everything is really good. And of course, Aguero is kind of like that X factor as well. He creates something out of nothing over the past few years and everything. And in the long run, they I think a lot of City fans are ready to say, and Liverpool fans are quite a little bit relieved in that sense. Same thing with
Hmm.
Van Dijk as well. I think you look at that and you think that okay, they can be attacked, especially in the center and everything.
Yeah.
Fortunate enough, we did have Matip and everything, so it did made it a
Yeah.
little bit harder, but they did found the space. And they took advantage of it with a brilliant goal from Gabriel Jesus. But for the most part, we did shut them out pretty well for most of the game and everything. So yeah, like I said before, it's a 50-50 game, and it's against two titans of the Premier League over the past couple of
Exactly.
years. So it's always going to be a tough game. And
For sure.
as a City supporter, you would feel disheartened, especially with the penalty decision. As a Liverpool
Yeah.
supporter, you would
Of course.
take the 0-0 draw, considering the amount of fixtures that we did have.
Hmm. So I can tell that you're pleased with the result. Like a draw, you'd see would be a fair result. But is there maybe like a slight frustration that considering how no team has been very good this season and City have been struggling, would you expect maybe Liverpool to separate themselves in the pack and just, cruise to another title? Because as you can tell that there's been a lack of consistency in every other big team this season.
Well, I think we learned from this season that not everything's going to be easy, though.
Mhm.
Definitely. And to say that, look, systematically speaking, that we're going to win every game, I think that's a hard expectation to think. I think we should wish for the best of the players and their ability and everything. And I
Mhm.
think based on what Klopp did, Klopp had probably one of the most injuries during that time as well. So I think what he did right now is good. But obviously, of course, you want to win. You want to win every game that you do come and everything. And we did have an
Yeah.
opportunity. We definitely did. Um,
Mhm.
but of course, in the balance of game and everything, you can't be at times you can't be too greedy. And as well, like with the West Ham games with like Sheffield United and everything, I looked at the situation how I was like, you know what, we made drop points and everything, right? But as long as they give 110% within every performance, then I'm more than happy, and I think they did. However, I do think, of course, they can do better, and I think they could have done better this game. But again, the face of it overall, you would take it. But again, like as every fan, they would want to win every single game, and yeah, they could have gone
Yeah.
more, but on the face of it, and
Yeah,
considering they
it's with
had a
sorry.
penalty as well, then
Yeah,
yeah, I would more than happy to take a draw, and I think it would hurt City fans more considering they could have jumped a lot more in the league, but they didn't.
exactly.
So
Yeah, I can for sure give you that because with the whole COVID situation, this league, I think for me, it's been a bit more exciting than last year. And
It's unpredictable, mate. But
Aston Villa
it's
just scored
absolutely
on Arsenal.
horrific on our fantasy teams. I swear to God, you can't predict a
Yeah.
fantasy team properly. Last season it was quite like, okay, yeah, I know this, I know that, but now I'm like, oh. I mean,
Yeah,
some
you
people are
don't
able
know.
to fix the system, and they know probably better. But for me, I just can't hack it, man. I can't hack it this season, man.
Yeah, an example of that being our Aston Villa just scored on Arsenal in the second minute of the game. So they're up as well.
Big
Yeah.
rip.
So yeah, my final question to you would be: Do you see this season as do you see Liverpool as the favorites, title favorites still going forward?
I think everybody sees Liverpool the title favorites. To make big calls and everything like that, bold calls, mate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Liverpool supporter. I know enough to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait until the last 5 games until I can make big calls like that. Even though we did win the title and everything, it is in my
Sitting on the
DNA.
fence, huh?
Yeah, but no, don't you dare count City off just because they're having bad performances. I've seen them; they make magical runs, and even though they don't look, even though I do agree to a certain extent, I don't think Pep looks like he cares as much as he's done over the years. I know
Mhm.
Pep enough to see that he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight all the way through, especially this season. And I know that Man City can, once they have a run of games, they can have like a huge run, and then that could just completely, shatter,
Yeah,
put doubt as well.
change the
So,
color. Yeah, way
and
the
that's
league's
why
going.
people are not counting out City, right? And as for Liverpool, of course, they're going to be
Exactly.
title favorites, and I think they're rightly so within that grasp and everything. But
Yeah.
again, we need to take advantage when we can, and we need to take advantage of the opportunities where there's like discrepancies and everything. So I think right now it's a fair result. We go on to Leicester. Well, we do have the what is it? The whole
International break.
international break and everything. Hopefully, there's
Yeah.
not more injuries than we have seen in the game. Because, mate, like, look, it's always an uncertainty, especially with this, but um, hopefully we don't get injuries, and yeah, we move on to Leicester.
All right, sounds good. Looking forward to see you for the Leicester game. It's been a good
Oh, are we
chat.
streaming the Leicester game?
Um, yeah, why not?
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens if there's a more interesting game, but we'll see.
hmm Yep. If we can get that done for sure, that would be amazing. Thanks for the
Now you're
chat.
pushing like, okay, now we gotta get that Leicester game. You're
Yeah,
putting me on the
yeah.
spot. Okay, but yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate
No
the
problem. Thank
questions.
you for letting me ask the questions.
No, not gonna lie, it's been fair. I would say being on the
hmm
other side for once. I'm surprised that he didn't take advantage of this as he should, but
we'll get our chance. Don't worry.
you get. Oh, that's why you chose Leicester. You smell
hmm
some
Smell blood.
smell blood. Yeah, all right. No,
All right.
but
Cheers.
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.